different models of cars, because it was in the magazines. I wouldn't put those magazines out if I were him. He finally comes over and he says, so what do you want? I said, I want a car. It's right out there in the parking lot. Color, you have everything I want. He says, well, let me tell you about the options. I said, I'm not interested in the options. I'm putting all my money under the hood. I like to drive fast. Turbo, you understand? I'll take the Pirelli racing, street racing tires. That's okay. He says, well, I have to tell you about the options first. I said, I'm not interested in the options. I don't want to care about the power of things, this sunroof crap, the climate control. I know if I'm hot or cold, I can make the adjustment myself. It's okay. And he said, but I have to tell you about the options first. I said, I'm not interested in the options. I said, what do they do? Send you to school and tell you that I had to tell you about the options before something or what? I want to buy a car. Look, I brought money. He said, I have to tell you about the options first. I said, I'm not interested in the options. And he looks at me and says, you're not listening to me. And I had to agree. I said, you know what? You're right. And I left. Went back out to the found it. Finally walked into another car dealer, you know. Now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm pissed. I was hoping to be in a car by now. Walked in. Guy says, my neck is going like this. This vein here is popping out by about 3 feet. Like this. Guy looks at me and says, tough day, huh? I said, very. He looked at me and says, what can I do to change it? I went, sell me a car. He said, what do you want? I said, out there, parking lot, color, everything. Give me best price, keys to car, take car for drive. Car ride good, wife see over dashboard, good price, me buy car. He looked at me and he said, here's the keys to the car. Here are the keys. Take him out for a ride. Go by yourself. It's okay. You know, after the gas in the car, please get a receipt. Take your time. Take it out for a few hours if you like. Open it up on the highway. Few miles gas. I said, cool. He said, by the time you come back, I'll have the best price. I'm thinking, yeah, right. And he did. He had a really good price. And I said, if you fill out the paperwork while I'm gone too, it's okay. I'll be buying the car. Because I was tired of driving around looking. I think they're all on the phone with each other going, okay, we just chased him out of this dealership. All right, he's on his way to you, Charlie. Okay? All right, and you piss him off, we'll send him over to Bill's place. All right, once Bill pisses him off, then we'll send him over to Willie's, and Willie will sell him the car, and we'll all split the extra money, because by that time, the asshole will want to pay anything for a fucking car. But that's not what happened. So you all sell different things, of course. Now, for those of you who have read the book and you already know the answer to this question, please keep it to yourself for a moment so I can have some fun. So, who's in sales? What do you sell? You read the question, you read the answer already. What do you sell? Real estate. Mm-hmm. What do you sell? Who else is in sales? What do you sell? You sell yourself. We have a word for that. And I hear it's legal in Las Vegas, in Nevada. Who else? What do you sell? Relations. Relationships? Uh-huh. What do you sell?
Happy feelings.
Happy feelings. Uh-huh. Go ahead and hand up over here. I saw somebody's hand go over here.
Confidence.
You sell what?
Confidence.
Are you sure? What do you sell?
Advocacy.
What is it?
Advocacy.
Listen, I'm just a simple kid from New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? You start using big words with me, I'm gonna get confused very quickly. Advocacy? Who else? And what do you sell?
Personal empowerment.
Personal empowerment. What do you sell?
Solution.
Solutions. Chemical?
What my customers want.
Oh, really? But what if it's illegal? Be careful, there's a true officer in the class. Watch what you say. He's only after truant stuff. Not real criminals, just junior criminals. Criminals in the making.
I sell cars.
You sell cars.
Better listen.
Yes, I better listen to him, all right, and I better get all the options too. Anybody else? Okay, so for those of you who know the answer, you know the answer. Every one of us in here, no matter what it is you think you sell, no matter what it is you thought you sold, every one of us in here sells the same thing. feelings, okay? That's what we're going to. We're going to the feelings, always. Your customers will call it something else. You may call it something else. That's just a word. That's just a word you attach to the feeling that you have, okay? When you're selling something to a customer, or even if you're negotiating, it doesn't have to be just in sales. I use a lot of it as a sales situation. Any influential situation, any situation where you have the possibility or potential to persuade someone, it's based on feelings, okay? The words they use are just the words they use, okay? You may call it confidence. You know, you may call it personal empowerment. You may call it cars. They're feelings. And let me dispel at least one rumor just to begin with, okay? And I'll give you some examples so that when you have the question, you'll understand, okay? The price really doesn't matter. Not really. Unless it's totally ridiculous. Way out of proportion, okay? Because every single one of you in here, how many of you have ever bought something, you went out, it was a big ticket item. You know, we're talking vacation, house, condo, apartment, big car, boat, something like that. And you spent more than you planned on spending when you first went out. Who's done it? Look at all the hands that go up. And you swore you didn't have the money. You said, oh, I don't have the money for this. But you got it, didn't you? You found it somehow. You made it happen, right? So who's bought something? Spent more? Okay. What'd you buy? Oh, clothes for your wife. So how can you spend more? You liked it and you wanted her to be happy. And if she's happy, you're happy. And Mr. Happy's happy. I got it. But you liked it. Feeling. Who else spent more? What'd you buy?
House.
Well, how come you spent more?
I wanted that house, and I just did what I had to do to get it.
And what did it do for you?
It's made me happy for a while.
Happy, 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 happy. That is your happy thing. You always get back to that happy thing. Feeling. Who else? How come you spent more? It had everything you wanted. Everything. Wow, and what'd that do for you? Made you happy. Happy, happy, happy. Here we go. This is just going to be one hell of a happy, happy seminar. What'd you buy? Oops. Oops, decision strategy time. No, especially what you get. I get it. It's okay. I know. Yeah. Well, you said me, but uh-oh. The adrenaline rush. And what'd that do for you? And what gives you a little high? An adrenaline high. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It's an adrenaline high, Oscar. It's okay. It's different. Okay. It's all right. I like to have fun with the guy. So, and what does that do for you? Makes you feel good. Feel good. So you have to get to the feelings every single time. Okay? So, you sell feelings. That's it. Get used to it. But the words that your customers will use, or your clients, or your potential customers, or your potential clients, those are the things to start to pay attention to. Okay? But we all sell feelings. Get used to it. Now, the idea to me is this. How many of you do telephone sales? You do telephone. Solicitation? You're soliciting? You're soliciting? What do you do?
I ask people to do
Is that listings? You do listing? Okay, listing, okay. What else is telephone? What do you do? Like headhunt stuff? Oh, okay. Flush headhunt. It's not the same as headhunting. You mean like getting them to come in and work in that industry?
Right.
Okay.
Something to do part-time.
Really?
In addition to what they currently do.
No kidding. Can we good money?
Yeah. $200 an hour, part-time.
$200 an hour. It's not enough.
That's just the part-time thing, in addition to what they're currently doing.
I gotta work 2 jobs. Well, I got one wife. It seems like 3 sometimes, but, you know. No, I'm just joking. Sorry. It was a joke. It was just a joke for the class, okay? I'm sorry. He was married 21 years last.
All right.
And they said it couldn't be done. Yep. And you know why? Because I always get in the last word. Bang on, so to speak. I get in the last word. That's why I'm married so long. Okay? It's yes, dear. When you get the last word in, guys, and it's the right ones, you'll be married happily for a long time. You'll be happy, she'll be happy, and Mr. Happy will be happy.
Mr. Happy.
Okay. So, it's not the money, pretty much, but it will depend on how much you can get your clients excited, or your potential clients excited. Anyone else with telephone sales? I just want to do one more. Just a double check. What do you do? Advocacy.
Chamber memberships.
Chamber memberships. How do you do with that anyway? Is it good? I mean, you get many people?
Yeah, good.
Hmm. Yeah. Who else? Telephone sales. Yes.
Medical, records processing for doctors.
So are you soliciting new business?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I really want to know. Who else?
Kid hunting cold calls.
Cold calls. Not hot, warm, and juicy calls. No, no. Cold calls. Headhunting? So you're stealing employees, basically. He smiles, so he goes, yeah. Anybody else telephone calls, telephone sales? Okay. Everything we're going to do here, you can handle over the phone. I-accessing queues is a little bit difficult, I must tell you. You have to look through the phone at the other person. But everything else can be used over the telephone, okay? As a matter of fact, some of it even works better over the telephone. Someone was asking me how come there are many more men in here than women. And I told them the truth, because the men really need it. Okay? The women already know. The women only come to the seminar so they can laugh at the men. Because the women sit here and they go, we knew that, John. You know, I go, then why'd you come? They go, oh, it's the entertainment value. We just like watching the guys go, wow. The women, they've been doing this for the longest time. They got it down. You know, works. Most of what I've learned from women in this business. Okay? Just hanging out with them. You know, can I follow you around so I can observe how you sell things? I do have trouble batting my eyes to another guy, I must tell you. You know, just sitting in front of another guy going, that kind of bothers me a little bit. I haven't really tried that one out. You know. And putting lipstick on just before I walk into their office, that one bothers me too, so, you know. I just did it the first time just to make sure because she said, you said you're going to do what I do, so put your lipstick on. And I made believe I put it on. I went, just like a guy would do, you know. But the women, they have this down. This is real simple. And the first part of this is, and some of you have the question because you've asked, and I just want to, I'll say it for the whole class just so you'll know, we'll get to it, okay? Is how do I get new business? How do I get in the door? What's a way of getting in? Is that right? I know some of you asked me that question. We will get to that. It won't be today. Okay? I save that to make sure you come back. Okay? But I will get to it. But the most important thing to me is that when you use the things I'm going to teach you, and Richard teaches you, take this literally to the bank. Okay? Keep this simple. Do not overcomplicate it. There is no reason to overcomplicate any of this. Okay? I try to keep it as simple as I can so you can take it and go use it and increase your business. Okay? For some of you, it's really very simple to increase your business. All you have to do is double your rates. For some, triple in some cases. Okay? Had a guy come here a couple of years ago actually, and he waited for a while. And he called me up. It had to be 6, maybe 8 months later. And he said to me, he said, well, I just want you to know, I was at the seminar. I said, yeah, I remember that. He goes, well, and I brought my wife, but she wasn't at the seminar, but I let her go running around Orlando and shopping and things. I said, that was very nice of you. He said, yes. And as we were driving home, she said to me, how was the seminar? And I said to her, oh, I had a great time. It was lots of fun. And she said, what did you learn? And he said, and I told her, I said, I don't know. But I know I learned something because it was really good. And she says, how do you know that? He says, well, the guys who were doing the seminar told me. She said, wait a minute. You went to a seminar, you had a good time, you don't know what you learned. The guys who told you that you learned something, but you don't know what it is you learned and took your money. Told you had a good time and you believe this? But you can't tell me what you learned in 3 days? And he said, no. She goes, we'll talk about this when we get home. Now, at the time, the guy was making about, in his own business, he had just started up his own business. and he was making maybe, I think he said his sales were like $6,000 or $8,000 a month or something like that. And inside of just a couple of months, he was up to $40,000. That's not even a joke. And he said, the only reason I didn't call you right away was because I wanted to make sure it was going to sustain itself. I said, cool, so what'd you learn? He said, well, I still don't know. He said, but I do have these little glimpses every now and then. Like, he says, sometimes when I'm working with a customer, all of a sudden, I get a little flash of something, I go, oh yes, that's right, that was from the seminar. So, the real trick here is, when we get to doing some exercise, is to do the exercises and keep it simple. The way your brain's going to work and the way your brain learns and you learn to do things is very simple. It's called input information, process information, okay, and then the most important king of all, or queen as the case might be for ladies, output. You've got to output the behaviors. You've got to output, that is, do the things that we teach you to do. Because if you don't do it, your brain doesn't know how to actually complete the behavior to do it. And even if you do it wrong, it's okay. Because then you get to calibrate and make an adjustment for the next time you do it. But not outputting it is the biggest mistake you can make. So you must do the output, okay? Even if you say something, do something, whatever the exercise is, it's important that you do it, okay? Even when you leave here, that's important. Now, the first part about what I like to cover has to do with, because if you're not in the right state, you're not in the right emotional state, then you're not firing off all the right chemicals for yourself. Is this right? Because here's what happens. How many of you have been in this situation? You're with a customer perhaps, or maybe on the phone or whatever. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Something went on, something was occurring, and you said or did something, and the end result of that was that you did not get what you wanted. It didn't work out just right. And later on, maybe the next day, maybe later that day, whatever, all on your own, not that someone gave you the idea, but all on your own, you went, oh, why didn't I just do that or say that? Who's that happen to? Great. This is very, very important information. Let me tell you why. It means a couple of things. One, you had the information in your brain. It was there. It's not like someone gave you the idea. It was there the whole time. Two, you couldn't get to it quick enough. That's good to know. Because I have ways that you can get to it quicker. It has to do with some exercises for you to do. It's all about brain chemistry. Okay? And writing out some things, writing out some language pattern things, which seems like homework, but it's really not. They are exercises for your brain. Because you probably have more words in your brain than I do. But I can probably get to the less ones that I have faster than you can. Not because I'm smarter, not because I'm brighter, because I have attitude. And I make sure I'm in the right state. Now, the converse of that situation for you is also true. You had a day that was so absolutely phenomenal that you couldn't make a mistake. Is that not true? Who's done that? And even at the end of the day, you went, wow, man, did I kick ass today? Don't know why. I guess I was just in the zone. Right? There was nothing you could do wrong. Okay? You could have flipped off the guy next to you and he thanked you. You couldn't make a mistake. So there's a lot behind all of this. It's not, and it has everything to do with the chemistry of your brain. So you first want to be, of course, in a positive state. Best state you can be in. And I like to call it state control. That's exactly what it is. You may be on the phone with someone, and maybe something didn't work out just right, and when you hang up, you go, oh, boy, I sure am glad I'm off that phone call. Then the next phone call comes in. What state are you going to be in? Before you pick up the telephone. Because if you pick up the next phone call and go, hello, guess what? You've already lost the battle. So you've got to be able to maintain and control your own states consciously first. Does this make sense to you? And I'll show you why. Anyway, so this is your brain. The inside, anyway, sort of. Okay? Didn't look like that, did you? This is the gray matter part. Made up of neural pathways, synapses, yada, 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 yada. We don't need to know all the technical stuff. And in between all of this, right, is mostly water and chemicals. In here. And I will technically refer to this so that you will have a reference for all future purposes. This liquid stuff in here, okay, we're going to refer to this as brain juice. So you all understand, okay? Now what happens is this with the brain juice thing, okay? No one really knows how this happens, by the way. I do have a couple of neuro doctor guys. What do you call them? Neuro? No, it's not a neurologist. No. He had a really fancy long name. Well, he was in Italy too, so they have lots of long names over there. They don't really know how this happens, however. Words, or more appropriately, not words as we think of a word, but utterances, sounds we make, get attached to these things and are attached to meaning. So you have an experience, you input the experience, right? And then it sits in here as experience, and when you put words to it, somehow the word or the utterance gets attached to the meaning. And they might be in different places, all over the place here in your brain, the words that is. And it might go something like this. So if I said, that's T-H-E, might be here, the dog, notice I use dogs, right? Okay. Dog ran down the street. Let's say that's where the different words are, right? Through the magic of electricity and good chemical reduction, what happens is this. When you either say or hear this sentence, little charges go off, little electrical charges go off, it goes, the dog ran down the street. And you're able to make all these connections. So far, so good? Okay. Now, have you ever had those days when you kind of woke up in the morning, usually a Sunday, and you woke up, you looked in the mirror, and you went, who is that person? Or your spouse said, where were you last night? And you went, where was I? Who was I? But you have trouble thinking. It's not true? Okay. And like I said earlier, you couldn't think of something fast enough, which means you could not get crosstown quick enough to the other database where your information was, for whatever the reason is. Because what happens is this. You have two types of brain juice, basically. You have neuro, and I will spell this out so that you can understand fully how it works. You have neurotransmitters. Those are good chemicals. They promote thinking. And then you also have neuroinhibitors. Inhibitors. Yeah, neuroinhibitors. Those do not promote good thinking. Do you understand? And different various combinations of chemicals in your brain, right? You have, what do you have? You have some endorphins or endorphins. Some people call them. You have serotonin, you have melatonin. Name them, right? What is it? You like that adrenaline thing, don't you? You like that adrenaline? Where do you live? California? Whereabouts? Ah, you don't know adrenaline. Come to New York City. Come to New Jersey. I'll take you downtown Patterson. 3 o'clock in the morning. You will have an adrenaline rush like you've never had before. When they all come out of the bars at 3 o'clock in the morning, you go, they're like that, you'll know what adrenaline is. You'll have it in its rawest form. Anyway, so depending on the chemical makeup you have here, that will determine, because the way your brain really works is pretty much like an automobile battery, sort of. Not exactly. It's not the plates that create the charge, it's the quality of the solution in between the plates that creates the charge. So it's the quality of the solution in between all of this that creates or determines the quality of the charge. So the better the state you're in, the better connections you're able to make. That's just for starts, so to speak. Does this make sense to you? Okay. This is as far as we're going with the chemistry part of the course. Okay? Except, that you ought to learn very quickly how to shake up your own cocktails, chemicals, chemical cocktails, whatever you want to call them. So, our idea of this whole thing about this is because before you can even begin to learn about how to do just the persuasion thing, how many of you have learned already, for example, that you can persuade anyone just by being so excited about what it is that you sell? You can make tons of mistakes, can't you? I mean, you could really mess things up in the whole course of a sale. But if you're really excited about what it is you're selling, and you believe in what you're selling, you're really excited about it, it's all but done. It's just a matter of closing it, okay? But that is another chemical change. That's a chemical state right then and there, okay? And because you get excited about it, okay, and we have people who call us up. Actually, when I answer the phone, they go, hello, NLP seminars, because once in a while I pick up the telephone if we're really busy. And then they go, hi, this is so-and-so, who am I speaking with? I go, this is John Laval. And they go, uh-oh. I go, well, oh, what? They go, I'm afraid to talk to you. I go, it's too late. I go, how come anyway? They go, because then you'll know all about me. I go, I already do. They go, but all I did was ask you who you are. I said, that's enough. I'm only going for chemical changes, remember. And then they say, oh, I guess you can use all those fancy language patterns on me, right? And I go, no. They say, well, you're not. I go, no. They go, why not? I go, because you haven't been to the seminar yet, so you wouldn't even know what they are, just for number one. I said, number two, I don't have to use them. They go, how come? I go, because you wouldn't have called unless you have already decided. Haven't you? And they go, yeah. And I go, and the only reason you called is because you just have one question left on your mind. You just don't know whether you want to put it on Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. And they go, that's right. And I go, so which one is it going to be? But anyway, but that's only because I want to go for the state changes, okay? And of course, close the sale. But most people, how many of you are on commission sales? Pure 100% commission. Raise your hand. Okay. Keep your hand up, I want people to look. The rest of you should look around, okay? Now, I don't mean to diminish the rest of your jobs, but these are the true and classic salespeople. Because if they don't make a sale, they don't eat. No salary, no draw against commissions, right? 100% commission, okay? These are the animals of the sales kingdom, okay? These are the lions of the sales kingdom, so to speak, okay? Just so you know. Because they're on 100% commission. If they don't make a sale, they don't eat. Like some people are on part salary and part commission. That's cool, it's cool, but it's not the same, okay? Because you don't look like you guys are going hungry, some of you. I don't mind telling you. That means you're doing pretty well already, right? Yeah. Because then you are fully in charge of how much you can make. But I'm going to make a bet with you guys and gals who are on 100% commission. It ain't the money, is it? It's not the money? Is it the money that motivates you? Nah, it's the thrill of the chase, right? It's not the money. Okay?
Money's nice.
Got it. Hey, the money's nice. Did you do it for the money? I mean, what gets you excited the most? Is it the money? No. It's the thrill of the chase. And they don't take no for an answer. Right? So, now, in order to be in a good state, you must know how to control your own internal neurology, your own physiology, if you would, right? So, who wants to feel good for no reason at all? This is a good thing, a very good thing. No reason at all. See, most people think they have to do something in order to feel good. And in some cases, that's true for some people. But it's not true for everyone. You can feel good for just no reason at all. When you feel good for no reason, it's like people who go, well, I have low self-esteem. Excuse me. It didn't exist until the 60s. Okay? We didn't have low self-esteem in the 50s or the 40s. We didn't have time for that shit. Okay? We were too busy doing things. Then the 60s came along. Then we got low self-esteem. People go, but I would feel better if I didn't have low self-esteem. And I go, no. You get to feel better first, and then go out and do things, and you'll feel even better. And that's really the way it works. Nobody owes you to feel good. You only owe it to yourself, that's what I tell them. Now, so who wants to feel good for no reason at all? Okay, this is good thing. Good. Very, very good. So who's relatively new here again? New, huh? Wow. Virgins, so to speak.
That's what I said.
I got news for you though, some of them really are. That's okay. They're just waiting for the right person. What's your name? Craig, come on here. So here for a change. I'll just show you a couple of things. Oh, Claude, he hasn't done nothing yet. You guys, these guys, yeah, that's right. That's true. He did walk up under his own hypnotic power. All right. Now this is real simple, okay? Because the idea to me is this, right? That you can take any feeling that you have, and I want it to be a good one. If you don't have a good one, there's the door. Because we don't do therapy here. Okay? No therapy stuff. Feel good. It's called get good feeling. You can intensify it. You can spin it. You can do all kinds of things with it. Okay? I can actually, check this out, officer. This is a good one. I can teach you to get high without any drugs. Isn't that cool? But that's next week. How many of you are staying? I know some of you are staying. Who's staying till next week? Oh my God, I'm stuck. How many of you are staying for the whole thing? I know some of you guys are punishing me for a long time. Write those names down. We should put special tags on them, special colors like red, orange, big orange somethings. Anyway, so it works like this, okay? Because you can take any feeling at all whatsoever, right? And you can intensify it, you can do various things with it. Once you've done this, for those of you who, how many of you do not, I know if you're new, I already know you're going to raise your hand. For those of you who've been around NLP, how many of you do not know what anchoring is? You do not know. You have a question about it. Or you're not sure. Okay, good. Just a few? Okay. Anchoring is quite simple. It's the old it comes out of the old stimulus response model. We do it all of the time. Okay? Even if you don't know what anchoring is, these are not things that someone created, these are things that someone discovered. Okay? The difference between animals, because the stimulus response thing comes out of the old Pavlov thing. You know, the dog thing? Do you think Pavlov ring a bell? Okay? Feed the dog, ring the bell, feed the dog, ring the bell, feed the dog, ring the bell, feed the dog. Ring the bell, don't feed the dog, dog gets pissed off and bites you. Pretty much the way it works. Right? Dog looks at you and goes, you ring the bell, don't feed the dog. Dog goes, don't fuck with me. Depending on the kind of dog it is, of course, because some dogs just don't care. You know, most dogs don't care. How many have dogs? Who has cats? Who has both? They're very different, aren't they different? You know, you come home from work, there's your dog sitting on the couch. Dog hears you come in, dog off the couch before you get in there, right? But you know, you can see the indentation in the couch, you feel it, it's warm. Dog goes, wasn't me. And dogs are different. Dogs, you put the food down, dogs will eat anything. Anything. They'll eat cat food. Dogs will eat, you put something down in front of a dog, they eat it. Not cats. First of all, a cat, you come home, there's your cat laying on the sofa. He hears the key. He hears you pull in the driveway. One eye opens up. Ah, she's home. He hears the key. He hears the door open up. Hears you walk in. He sees the dog dive off the couch. Cat lays here and goes, stupid asshole. And he does. Then he walks in. There's the cat. You look at your cat, you go, what are you doing on the couch? Get off the couch. Cat lays here and goes, talking to me. And the cat goes, I'm not getting off the couch. You want me off the couch? Lift me up off the couch. Then they do the dead weight thing. And all of a sudden, an 8-pound cat feels like it's 30 pounds. Because they can do that. And you take the cat and you put the cat down and it melts into the floor. And then you buy the cat food, you put the cat food over in the cat's dish, the cat looks at the cat food and goes, what the hell's that? Gourmet cat food, gourmet cat food. I'm not eating that. You look at the cat, you go, you'll eat that. Cat goes over his dead body, I'll eat it. That's going to sit and stink up your kitchen. I ain't touching it. You're going to get me the food I want, or I'm not going to eat it, and I will bring mice home. Attitude. It's all attitude. See? Cats have different attitudes than dogs. Anyway, so the thing is this, because if you can feel good for no reason at all, learn to intensify it and then anchor it. So the stimulus response model quite simply works like this. You get a response, you attach it to a stimulus. When you trigger the stimulus, the response comes back. Or you can elicit the response. Pretty simple. In terms of what we're doing here, like a handshake, for example, okay? When you shake someone's hand in business, how many of you have more than one handshake? And how many of you use it purposefully? With a purpose. Okay? Because if you have more than one handshake and you're not using it for different things, different anchors, you're making a mistake. Because you're going to have as many anchors as you want, really, as many different types of handshakes as you want. Right? Anchor to different feelings that you want. Okay? So, that's a way of anchoring that we use. Right? All an anchor is a stimulus that elicits a specific response. Okay? You can set up the response, you can elicit the response you want, and set a trigger for it, or a stimulus for it. Okay? And then when you fire off that stimulus, you'll get that response back. The difference between humans and animals is tremendous. Animals are much smarter. But humans are one-time learners. When it comes to anchoring, you can anchor a response once and get the response back for a long time. Really long time. Okay? When my son was young, both sets of grandparents bought those magic gates, you put on the stairways to go down the basement so he wouldn't fall down the stairs. But I never used the gates for that because I used them to hold up the tomatoes in the garden. And, because they said, he's going to fall down the stairs. And I said, well, maybe, but just once. You won't go near the damn stairs again. And they went, oh, that's a horrible thing. And I go, well, it would be, except he doesn't go near the stairs. Because we don't say to him, don't go near the stairs. We also say things like, play over here. Okay? So, my point is, if you stuck your hand in a fire once, you're not going to stick it in again, are you? Some of you are going, why not? I'd have to make sure you know. Maybe the fire isn't real. Maybe it was just a figment of my imagination. The pain I felt and the flesh burning off my hand wasn't real. It was just something I imagined. I'd stick my other hand in there and make sure. But no, you wouldn't do it, okay? Humans really learn pretty well one time. How many of you have a favorite song, by the way, and now you can't stand it anymore? You had it, and now you can't stand it and you don't know why? A favorite song? Anyone? Yeah? Okay? And it's not because they played it too many times on the radio. Okay? Chances are something happened. Something not good happened while you were listening to that song. And it got anchored to a different feeling. So now you hear the song, you go, arr, arr, like that. Okay? That's the way anchoring works. Very, very fast, very, very easy. So, how are we doing? Good? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where do you live?
By DC.
Washington, D.C.? It's not the United States of America, It's not even that. It's somebody's republic, but it's not ours. They stole that land, They stole that from Virginia. You're from Virginia?
It's not originally
Wisconsin. You live there now? No, Virginia, that's what I mean. I know, you chased after the ambiguity. It was the wrong one. It's all right. It was a good try, though. Do you have any NLP experience?
No.
Read books?
Familiar with the concepts, but never really studied.
Anyway, so I know there's something, and I don't want to know what it is. Let me tell you a couple things about how NLP works really simply is, we don't need to know any content. So if I ask you certain things, I only want a response from you. You do not have to verbalize anything really unless I ask you for a verbal response. Because I'm going to ask you about something, I'm going to ask you about a specific feeling, but you don't need to talk about it. That's the best part. It's private. It's like, you get to keep the thoughts into the last bastion of freedom that you have. That's inside your mind. Okay? But I know this doesn't make you feel good, right? Close your eyes for a second. Don't look at me when you're feeling like that. I know how anchoring works. And don't be looking at anybody else in the audience either when you're feeling really, really good, or you might find yourself. And then, anyway. So, no, close your eyes for once. Keep your eyes closed. It's okay. Yeah, just keep them closed. Right? If you open them again, I'm going to poke them. It's a New Jersey Transit induction. It is. Even people with glasses, you can open it for a second so you can see how it works. Even with people with glasses, you know when you say close your eyes and they don't close them? I got news for you. If you go like this, they do. Even if they have glasses on. I go, close your eyes. They go, I go, close them. They go, I go, I go. It's the New Jersey induction. Okay, close your eyes. Now, I know there's something that makes you feel really, really good. And I don't want to know what it is. But I know that there's something in there that nobody has to know what it is, only you. But you do have something, don't you? Not that one. No, the other one. Right, that one. Okay, now you see the response? Okay. And I know there was at least one time. No. The other time. I know there was at least one time when you felt so good, whatever this was, man. There was absolutely nothing. There was nothing like it in the world, was there? Yeah, you remember it? Now, actually, you can actually go back and go right into the very last time or the very best time that you had this. So you can actually be in the experience, so you can see what you were looking at then, you could hear what you were listening to then, everything. You could feel what it feels like. Present tense verbs, for those of you who are keeping track. You can feel what it feels like. So you actually go back to that one and float right into that experience. You can feel what it feels like. You can see what you were looking at. You can hear what you're listening to. That's right, you can feel that, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to anchor like that, just like that. I'm just going to place it right there for him. Now, the funny part is, if I can just go back and go and bring that back, right? Just watch it. Okay? Now, he's the quiet type. He's not going to intensify it. He's going to intensify it, but he's not going to advertise it that much. So he thinks. However, did you know, Craig, we can take this feeling from here. And if I ask you to intensify this, like you can actually take this feeling and double it by sliding the anchor, right? Because your brain understands mathematics, different than arithmetic, which it also understands, but mathematics is different. Mathematics is about philosophy and relationships. Okay, that's mathematics. It's different than arithmetic. It's about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Now, if you were to take this feeling, because we take this little slide it, and you can double this feeling. If we go, boom, just double it. And we'll take it from here. You know, we can take it from here and move it. Take it from here, we can move it to go back to here again. If I take it from here again, you can double it again. Just like that. How's that feel? You know, you can take it from here and move it back here again. We can take it from here and we can go like to the 10th degree. Do you think you can take this and intensify to the 10th degree? Just like that. Right? Yeah. You like to go slow, huh? I can tell. All you have to do is watch, because if you slide the anchor too fast, okay, it works like this when you do sliding anchors, okay? Because remember, it's a communication. You're giving a set of instructions, right, that they're going to calculate. Basically, they're going to do some calculation with. And from here, when you touch the skin here, there's nerves under the skin, so the communication is going to be sent here, under skin, to nerves, to brain, and back. That's basically what's going to happen, okay? So as fast as you move this, ought to be as fast as you can calibrate a response and a change in a response, okay? If you go too slow, okay, they'll get there before you, right? And if you go too fast, you'll get there before them. Do you understand this? But if you go at just the right speed, okay? Because sometimes it's good to, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. The women really know what I'm talking about, okay? We take this and go, ooh, there you go, boom, like that. Now, this feeling has movement to it. Huh? Which way does it spin? Is that just showing? It goes this way back? Okay, and it's in here? Okay, and show me how big is it, the feeling? About like that? Okay, so what if we took it here like this and you spun it backwards real fast? Put your hands in. Bring it back in here, spin it real fast, right? Now, does that make a difference? Better? Now, what if you took that feeling and you actually expanded it so it goes from the inside and comes out right to the edge of your skin, both in the front and the back, like that. And spin it now, right? Like that. And you can spin that. Spin it faster. You know, you can actually take it and expand it so it goes right up to the top of your head and down to the tips of your toes if you want to. You can spin it faster and faster and faster. You can do all kinds of things with it. Now, When you do it like this, okay, well, look at the colors of this, changes here, you can see changes here. One, watch for changes here, okay? Some people go like that, some people don't. Some people are more demonstrable, obviously demonstrable. Some people you'll see in idiosyncratic differences, okay? Idiosyncratic motor movement even, right? You'll see things that are not necessarily consciously controllable. Muscle tonus, little clicks of things, muscle twitches, yada yada, okay? How we doing? Yeah? Good. We want to be great. No? How much stronger can we make it? Take it and double it again. Like that. You can take this feeling, right? This one was here. You can go, ooh, never mind. You don't want it to be that good. Ooh, yes you do. Now, sometimes you have to trick them a little bit. And you're not going to do this with a customer, by the way, necessarily. Well, it depends on the business you're in, I guess. Okay? Depends on the business that you're in. Now, here's the trick, okay? The trick is to be able to get with a partner. I don't care who it is. It could be another guy, it could be gals, you know, it doesn't matter who you're doing this with. But I want you to be able to access a feeling. Get to a feeling that feels really, really good. You have one. You've been thinking about it the whole time. I know you've been looking, just looking on the look on your face. And him too. Look. And you're fooling me. Going along for the ride. Where does yours begin? And where, it has a movement to it. What is it doing? Goes this way, then what happens? Goes back in. Goes back into the neck area, then what happens? Ooh. So it goes through the arm. Then what happens? Wow, man, you're just spinning all over the place. This guy goes through the legs too, huh? How fast does it go through the legs? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's been around should anchor that while they can, in case you need it later. Shh. But it's not, I didn't tell you that, you know. What are you doing sitting over there smiling? Are you making things to you? Where does yours begin? In the chest? And where does it go to? Because it moves. Yours goes like this, and then what happens? Goes like this way, and it moves back. You've done some exercises before, haven't you? I can always tell. Where does yours begin? Right there? And what happens? Goes this way, goes out, and then what happens? Comes back?
It's bigger and bigger and bigger.
Then what happens? Spins faster and faster? Yeah? If you take it, make it go from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. Just like that. That's right. Right. You gotta watch him, not me. Okay? And where does yours start? Goes like that? Yeah? Goes like this way down, so you're down around the middle body like this? From the knees up to the neck? Wow. Up to the head too. What happened to the toes? No, you can't. Show me. Feel good? Yeah?